Hey and welcome back to the channel everyone, I'm Dazzling Dave and this is my match preview of Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League at the Emirates Stadium. So guys, obviously we're back to Premier League action, following on from the draw last week, and also in regards to the Wolves exiting the Carabao Cup in midweek against Aston Villa 2-1 away. And obviously, you know, Nuno pretty much made major changes for that game, as you know. There's only Bennett that came back in for a start. John Ruddy, you know, Jesus, Velasquez. Other than that, it was and there was no one on the bench really other than Patricio as the reserve goalkeeper. Obviously holding the main starters back, ready for the Arsenal game, and with a lot of games coming up. Personally, I think he made the right decision. I think it was a great run out for the youngsters. Great experience for them. I know some Wolves fans haven't been exactly happy, but at the end of the day, they didn't disgrace themselves. They lost 2-1, and you know, we move on. The Carabao Cup this year, yeah, it was an opportunity, and if we'd have gone through, yeah, but in terms of like priorities, it's definitely number 4 on the priority list. And you know, Wolves do want to progress in the league, and playing Arsenal away is a tough fixture, but Wolves have got to start to think of themselves on a level par with these sort of teams if we want to, you know, break into that top 6 eventually. So it'll be interesting to see what the team is, and I'm going to give you my views and stats as always, and thoughts and team prediction, and also the score prediction coming up. So let's have a look straight away at some stats in terms of team news as well. So we do know that Xhaka, the Arsenal captain, that basically had a bit of a tiff with the Arsenal fans on his last appearance last weekend, has been confirmed that he's not starting. He's been taken out of the firing line. A lot of the Arsenal fans have been shouting for Mesut Ozil. He played a really good, apparently, in the 5-5 draw against Liverpool, which Arsenal eventually went out on penalties, and he might come into the side. In terms of Wolves, obviously we've had the terrible news about Boly. He's had the operation. He's going to be out for several weeks, months, 3 to 4 months. I don't know, it depends on how quickly. Since we know he's going to be in, his legs going to be in one of them little casting things that he'll be walking around with for 6 weeks, and we see how that's healed and how long it takes him to get back. Do hope that he gets back well before the end of the season. We're going to miss Boly. Obviously he's been such a key player, but that's done. And the other news is that Bennett is going to be out tomorrow. My dad's going to be absolutely gutted. He played in midweek, and now he's injured again, and he's not going to be playing. Now, I did say in my pre-match Villa, I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves didn't play Benno in the Villa match, just to give him that little bit extra time to be fit. He did play, and he played the whole 90 minutes against Villa, but he's not fit for Arsenal, and I'd rather have had him fit for Arsenal than playing him in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Personally, that extra few days could have made a difference, but he's out again now. Wolves, you know, medical team normally get these things right, so I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he's definitely not starting against Arsenal. And we also know that Morgan Gibbs-White is also out as well. So on to some stats. So Wolves 3-1 win against Arsenal last April was their first victory in the top flight against Arsenal for 40 years. So it'd be nice if we could back that up. In terms of Arsenal at home, they're completely unbeaten at home this season, and it's a 3 PM kickoff on a Saturday, and Arsenal have not lost a 3 PM kickoff at home on a Saturday for 20 matches, winning 18 and drawing 2, and that's since the 2013-2014 season. Now, after 10 games, Arsenal have got 16 points, and that's their lowest since the 2012 season. They've also only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 7 home games, and Unai Emery has only won 1 of his 5 meetings against Nuno, so hopefully that continues as well. Now, Wolves are actually on for 2 records this weekend, potentially. It could be the first time we've scored in 10 consecutive top flight matches if we score against Arsenal since 1972, and it can also equal Wolves' record of 6 unbeaten in the Premier League if we don't lose the game. So that would be 6, and that would equal Wolves' best ever unbeaten run in the Premier League. So another interesting stat at Wolves. Wolves have a league high 85% of Wolves' goals have come in the second half of matches. We've seen that a lot recently, where we're so slow and sluggish in the first half and then we come back in the second half. It'd be nice if we could play like that all the way through the game. Also, Wolves' points return from second half matches, we would actually be third. However, I think we'd be 18th if it was on the first half matches with just 2 goals. So obviously we're in the middle of that. And Raul Jimenez has scored 10 goals this season, and 7 of those are away from Molineux. So in terms of looking at the team prediction, and don't forget to let me know your thoughts. Patricio's going to be in goal, Cody's going to start, and then who's going to play at the back? Saiss, I think he's pretty much certain that he's going to play. Now, is he going to drop Dendoncker in the back like he did the second half against Newcastle? Is he going to give Jesus Vallejo a go? He did all right on Thursday. He's going to go with Kilman. It'd be really interesting. Who do you think is going to play in that right hand both? Who do you think? Dendoncker did well, but obviously with Morgan Gibbs-White out, it does leave us a bit light on midfield with both Saiss and Dendoncker who would fill in the midfield. So it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are on there. The midfield 3, well, the midfield 2, depending on what happens, you definitely would think that it's going to be Neves and Moutinho. Normally you'd have maybe Saiss and Dendoncker in there. Interesting to see whether it goes 3-4-3. Or 5-3-2, I suppose, depending on the formation. Johnny Otto and Matt Doherty. Matt Doherty and Connor Cody, for example, actually were in the stands watching the Villa game with the crowd, which I thought was fantastic. And but Doherty should be back in. And then up front, Raul Jimenez, certain starter. I think Jota's a certain starter. And then you've got the likes of Pedro Neto and Catroni that you could then bring on. And Benny Ashley-Seal, although he got on against Villa, he was never really in the game. Wolves were a bit isolated from their up front, so it was good to see Catroni get a goal. So in terms of score prediction, this is going to be a tough one, really. You know, Arsenal got a good record at home. You know, they'll be desperately wanting to win this game. So there is a little bit of pressure on them from that perspective. But it's also a really, Wolves need a result out of it as well, because otherwise it puts pressure again going forward. And with their Nuno resting so many players, there's that little bit of pressure. But yeah, so I'm going to be on the positive side. I'm going to go with... I'm not going to go that we've lost. I'd like to think we could win this one, nick it 2-1. Oh, I forgot Adama Traore, haven't I? Because Traore is an option to start up front as well, depending on the formation. Or he might hold him back in reserve. We'll see again. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 1-1. Hopefully we can get a 2-1 victory for Wolves. And it's going to be Jota that's going to get the goal. And if we can get the second goal... well, Adama Traore later on would be nice, wouldn't it, as well? But there's always a chance of Raul Jimenez hitting. Wolves are definitely going to look to soak up that pressure and spring the break. They're going to hopefully look at being tight without Wily Boly and Bennett against the top 6 side with lots of attacking options. It'd be interesting to see how the likes of Saiss and that cope with that, because I always worry that when we're playing these really top-end teams with the strike force, that's where Saiss gets exposed and Cody gets a little bit isolated. So we'll see. It's a big test for Wolves. We come out with a point, I won't be too disappointed. It won't be another draw, but it'll be another point away from home against a good established side. If we can get the victory, happy days. Even better. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Please consider subscribing if you're new. Hit the bell, ding ding ding, that little bell button. Why? Because you'll always be first to be notified of any of my uploads before anyone else. So do that. There's a few of you that doing that, but not enough of you. So make sure that you hit the bell button so you get notified. And yeah, leave your thoughts below, send the love, and until the next one, I'm Dazzling Dave. Come on Wolves, always Wolves.